Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again, and welcome back to episode 3 of my playoff predictions. And so far, we're now in the round of 8. Kansas will be this weekend, and you got Texas in a couple weeks. The race I will be going to, Jimmy's last mile and a half in his final race at Texas, and then Martinsville, and then finally the race at not Homestead, but ISM Raceway. So should be a lot of fun. Just 4 races to go in the 2020 season. Man, 2020's been through a lot. It's been like the longest season ever in NASCAR, but so we have these guys who are in the round of 8. You got Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Mark Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, and Kurt Busch. 2 surprising drivers are in there. These 2. But yeah, so let's go ahead and make these playoff predictions right now, and boom. Whoa, there we go. Yes, these are the 4 drivers who I predict will be out, and you guys might be surprised that number 19 is still here, and number 9, who's over there, isn't. Well, it was a tough decision, but I had to choose the driver who's been consistent lately. But we'll get to that later. First off, let's start with why I do not think Kurt Busch will make it into the Final Four. So we all know Kurt Busch has had a pretty wild season, you know. He won at Las Vegas. The next week he goes airborne at Talladega. He's in the round of 8, and people thought he'd be eliminated after the first round or after the second round, which I predicted. But no, he's made it to the round of 8, and I'm for sure that he's not making it to the championship 4. Well, anything can happen. Like, I saw him win at Las Vegas, so things can happen. But here are my reasons why Kurt Busch will not make it on to the round of 8. Well, we have our first stop is in Kansas. You know, he finished 9th there earlier this year. His average finish is like 15th there, so should be like no problemo. But you have drivers who are consistently better than him at those certain racetracks, like Bowman. Finished better than Kurt Busch at Kansas. Same thing with Mark Truex Jr. Logano wrecked in that race, but still, Logano has more wins there than Kurt Busch does. And then moving on to Texas, Kurt Busch finished 8th there. Still, Logano finished 3rd there, and he has an average finish of 14th. So I think if Kurt Busch wants to make it on into the to the championship 4, I think his best bet is to win at Texas, because that has to be like his best track than the other 3. And then moving on to Martinsville, he did get a top 10 at Martinsville. He finished 9th, but his average finish is 20th. And, you know, like I said, you have drivers who are consistently better than Kurt Busch. So, I'm not saying that Kurt Busch could win. It's just that Kurt Busch, he can win these races and go on to the championship 4. I'd be impressed by him because, you know, he said there's a 50-50 shot that he might be retiring after next year. And why is this camera blurry? There we go. But still, he can win these races, just that he's not as consistent as these other drivers. Like Chip Ganassi has just not been running well this year. Hendrick has done better. Penske, heck, Joe Gibbs, and Stewart-Haas Racing, so it's pretty hard. So I don't think Kurt Busch will make it on into the championship 4. It would suck for him because, you know, last year could be his final year, but hey, we'll see. But this is why Kurt Busch will be eliminated after the round of 8. Let me know what you guys would think about Kurt Busch in the comment section below. Now let's move on to Alex Bowman. Now moving on to the next driver, Alex Bowman, who's had a surprising year, his best season in the playoffs. You know, he's made it to the round of 8, the highest he's ever made it. In fact, the highest the 88 car has ever made it, so that has to say something for Alex Bowman, even though he'll be going to the 48 car. But congratulations to him. Now let's see if he can get it to the championship 4 so he can compete for a championship at his home track. But yeah, Alex Bowman, now let's go in sections once again. Kansas, his best finish there is 2nd. That's a race that Alex Bowman could win because, you know, he finished 8th there earlier this year, even though his average finish at Kansas is 20th. Still, look out for Alex Bowman there. I think if Alex Bowman wants to make it to the championship 4, I think Kansas is going to have to be the track where he's going to have to get it done. Because Texas has to be his worst track out of the round of 8. You know, he finished 30th there earlier this year. I know he got in an accident and stuff, and then he has an average finish of 26, so I'm not really confident about Alex Bowman. Probably because his average finish was because he was with BK Racing, but still, you gotta count it that he was with Hendrick Motorsports, and he finished, 14th and 11th there, in his first 2 seasons, so I guess so, but we'll see what Alex Bowman can do. And then moving on to Martinsville, he finished 6th there earlier this year, and his average finish is 22nd, so, he's not really a short track person, because, you know, Alex Bowman, out of all 400 cars, he's the worst Hendrick driver on short tracks out of all three of them. Like, Jimmy's good, Elliott's good, even William Byron looks pretty decent, but I'm not really confident about Alex Bowman at Martinsville, so that's why I don't really see him making it onto the championship 4. I wish he does, or does make it, but Bowman, if you're listening to this, which I know you're not, but your best bet is going to have to win at Kansas, so hopefully that can happen, but we'll see. But yeah, I think Alex Bowman, if he wants to get it done, it's going to have to be at Kansas, so we'll see what happens there at Kansas this weekend, if Alex Bowman could get it done or just get a pretty decent finish so he could be, above the cut line, but he'll probably have to finish, second or something and get a lot of stage points, but we'll see. But that is why I think Alex Bowman will be eliminated from the NASCAR playoffs. Moving on now is Joey Logano. Logano has not made the championship 4 last season, and now, I don't think he's going to make it again back-to-back. I think he's going to go back-to-back of missing the round of 8 just slightly, but I think he'll probably finish, 6th in the playoff standings or something. But yeah, Joey Logano, when we go to Kansas is not really his track. Well, even though he does have a couple wins there, he did finish 35th earlier just because he got in a wreck, and still his average finish there killed it because of that wreck. Now he has an average finish of 18th, so if I'm a Joey Logano fan, I'm not looking forward for Kansas. Texas, maybe, because, he did finish 3rd at Texas over Kyle Busch, 3rd or 4th. But, yeah, he did finish 3rd at Texas. His average finish there is 14th. So, and he does have a win there, but he has not won there since, 2014. So, Logano fan, you don't want to hope on Texas. Maybe get some points there or probably get a 2nd place finish, but I'm not sure when would cut it for Joe Logano because, he can get a win there, but I don't think it'll happen. Now, the best track for Joe Logano will have to be Martinsville. He finished 4th there earlier this year, average finish of 13th. So if you're a Logano fan, you're looking forward to Martinsville because that's the track where I believe Joe Logano will get it done. And he won at Martinsville a couple years ago to make it into the championship 4, so where he got, his first championship. So really, I'm looking for, if I'm a Logano fan, you have to be looking forward to Martinsville because that's going to have to be his best bet. But I'm still not so confident because, like I said, with Kurt Busch and Alex Bowman, you have drivers who are so much better. Like Truex Jr. I chose Truex to, I'm picking Truex to not make the championship 4, but he could still do it. He could still win there, and he's better. Chase Elliott is better, even though he doesn't have a win there. Bowman and Kurt Busch are a bit worse and stuff. Denny Hamlin's good at Martinsville, and Kevin Harvick's good at Martinsville. And besides, you have some drivers who are not even in the playoffs, like Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson. Those guys are good at Martinsville. They could beat Joe Logano, and they don't even have to be in the playoffs. So, yeah, so if I'm a Logano fan, I'm pretty concerned because I think it's going to be 2019 all over again for the round of 8 for Joe Logano. So that is why I predict Joe Logano will not make it into the championship 4 back-to-back seasons. Now let's move on to the most surprising one that I was dealing with this morning. I was making my predictions earlier today, and it was a toughie, but I chose Truex Jr. to miss it. Let's see why. Last and definitely not least, I chose Truex Jr. to miss the championship 4 for the first time since 2016. Man, I do not know why I said this, but I don't think Truex Jr. will make the championship 4 because, here's the thing. He doesn't suck. Kansas, he's finished 3rd there earlier this year. Average finish of 13th, so that had to be his best track or something because he has, 2 wins there. Texas did not go so well. Probably because he wrecked. I'll give credit for him. He only wrecked. He finished 29th there. His average finished 14th, but if you're still a Truex fan, you're not really confident in Texas. I mean, Truex is good at mile and a half, but Texas, tracks like Texas, Atlanta aren't it. If Charlotte was still around, I bet Truex would want to win there. And then Martinsville, I don't know why I still chose Truex, because he won at Martinsville earlier this year, and he's kind of my prediction to win at Martinsville, but anything can happen. So we'll see, and he does have an average finish of 17th, but so he's been dominating lately, so I'm just going to pick Truex to miss it. It was either him or Chase Elliott, because, here, let's bring Chase Elliott up here. It was a huge, tough one between these guys, Chase Elliott and Truex Jr. It was just very tough. I think in real life it's going to come down between those two, maybe even at Martinsville. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just picking Truex to miss it because here's the number one reason why I think Truex will miss it. He has not been consistent lately. Truex has just not been that consistent. Like, the last track I remember Martrix Jr. being pretty consistent was Richmond last month. Or Darlington. Darlington, he could have won that race easily, but he made an overly aggressive move. He blew it, took him and Chase Elliott out. And then Richmond, I thought he could have won that race, but no. Austin Dillon was looking better than him. And Logano too, and Keselowski as well. That shows that Truex is not really the only driver good on short tracks anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if Brad Keselowski, who I predict will make the championship 4, I wouldn't be surprised if Keselowski won at Martinsville. Or Joe Logano to make it into the championship 4. I don't know, but Truex, he's just not the best driver on the short tracks right now. Even though Martinsville is his short track, I still wouldn't be surprised if he lost. But it's just all on consistency. Like, Chase Elliott, he's been pretty consistent lately, more than Martrix Jr. Elliott almost won at Darlington. I didn't see him at Richmond that much. He did do pretty good at Bristol. Las Vegas, he kind of struggled. Truex did a bit good. Talladega, literally anybody, so I don't know what to say. And then Chase Elliott is just the dominator on road courses, so we'll see. But I still think that Truex Jr. will miss the playoffs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does make the championship 4. Wait, did I say miss the playoffs? I mean miss the championship 4. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because it's a very tough one, guys. Could Chase Elliott make his first ever championship 4 appearance? Anything can happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Busch made it by winning at Kansas, because Kansas is kind of like Las Vegas, but we'll see. But I am picking Martrix Jr. to miss the championship 4 for the first time since 2016. I think Chase Elliott will make the championship 4 for the first time in his young career, so we'll see what happens. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, guys. Well, don't comment after we find out who the championship 4 is. Just comment and see, like, do you think I'm right or do you think I'm wrong? Because it's just very hard to choose from, but I think Truex will miss it because of consistency, and I think Chase Elliott will make it because he's been so consistent lately. But, Chase Elliott has a history of making the round of 8 and just doing bad. He's always in must-win situations, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, that's basically summarizes up. And yeah, that'll be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow my Instagram. I'll put that link in the description, or I'll just put the name in there. So yeah, I'm still confused of how, I don't know who's going to make it into the championship 4, but these are the 4 guys I think who will make the championship 4. And if Chase Elliott does make the championship 4, that will be the first time a Chevrolet has made the championship 4 since Jimmy Johnson in 2016. And the last Chevrolet to make the championship 4 won it. So a little bit of a Easter egg there, but I don't know how those things work. But yeah, see, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna make the Kansas review, after the race. Then after that, I'm gonna be going to Texas Motor Speedway. I'm gonna film a bit of the race. Then I'm gonna make a review later in the day. Then make a Martinsville review, and well, actually, after my Texas review, I'm gonna have some cars that I'm gonna review with you guys before Martinsville. Then I'm gonna review the Martinsville race. Then I'm gonna make my championship pick, like who's gonna be the champion, and then I'm gonna get ready for the ISM race, the final race of the season. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Got some videos to make, and yeah, so that should be it. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you all Sunday. Peace out.